Hello again, I'm Greg Levine, and this is the party line for August 12th, 2011, and I'm here today to tell you the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. No, I'm not actually. I'm here to tell you a story, or more like talk about a story that Barack Obama is trying to tell, and perhaps how it's different from the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. I mean, besides the absence of that fetching cape, its hint has to do with the wolf part, or who Barack Obama has decided to make the wolf. Obama gave a speech yesterday in Holland, Michigan, at the Johnson Controls factory, and I was listening to it, and I read it again afterwards, and I couldn't help but wonder two things. First off, I was wondering if Obama, or his political team at least, had taken a look at an article by Drew Weston that was in last Sunday's New York Times, and I also was wondering if our president had been replaced by Larry the Cable Guy. First, let me talk about Weston. Weston wondered, in the headline, what happened to Obama, and went on at length about the failure in the case of Obama to construct the proper narrative, in words actually that I found pleasingly, shockingly, similar to ones I've been using now for, I don't know, close to 2 years, if not more, about how Obama came out from the very beginning of his administration. Weston paints a picture of the inaugural address where he came out needing to make a very specific kind of speech and failed to make it. He failed to say, and both Weston and I have used the exact same words, he failed to say to America, "I've got your back." And instead, he created the impression, and almost in no uncertain terms communicated, that the backs that he was watching were the backs of Wall Street and the banksters and the corporate elites who, frankly, had helped tank the whole economy in the first place, who had put so many Americans in situations where they felt fearful of losing their jobs, had lost their jobs already, and were in general feeling insecure about their futures. And instead of reassuring the American people, Obama didn't, and bent over backwards actually not to name names, not to point the finger, not to paint a picture of you know, a good guy and a bad guy. And it's this absence of a bad guy that Weston talks about at length, talking about how narratives are the way that humans have evaluated their world since the beginning of time, and any good hero narrative requires a villain. And what's absent from the Obama narrative is this villain, or at least as I see it, the right villain, and the case that he most actively portrays is the absence of being able to name Wall Street, the corporations, the banks, the people who destroyed both the national and personal economies as the villains. And in doing so, as Weston and I both observed, Obama created the space that allowed the Tea Party to flourish. Granted, as I've said before, some of it was manufactured, some of it was stoked by corporate money, but their space was there, and the people's fear was real. And in that space that Obama allowed to be created, it became much easier to create this sort of ready and virulent opposition to anything he might want to do, which is either terrible or convenient, depending on your perspective, depending on the White House's perspective. So Obama gives this speech in Holland, Michigan, at Johnson Controls, and he does sort of kind of go towards naming a villain. Not Wall Street, not the bankers, in fact, not the wealthy. In fact, Ari Shapiro, who is the White House correspondent for NPR, was at the Monday White House appearance where the president gave a speech and actually watched as the teleprompter text was revised to remove terms like very wealthy and corporations when they were talking about in the speech who needs to pay their fair share. It was really quite stunning. Well, not really stunning, because you've seen this happen time and time again, but to actively see it, be removed like that really just painted the perfect picture. So in Holland, Michigan, Obama decided that the villain in this case would be Congress. He went on at length about how there's so much that we could be doing, but Congress is getting in the way. There's so much that he has accomplished, but he did it by going around Congress, which is really convenient now that we're about to go around Congress again with this super Congress. He talked about the time for drawing lines in the sand is now over, which of course is also very convenient when your sands shift as often as the presidents do. But, if I may, as the sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. And as time drifts on and nothing continues to get done, the situation doesn't change. And Obama in Holland, Michigan, I guess you get that it's in Michigan, I don't have to keep saying that, saying that it was Congress that stood in his way, that America should get mad at Congress, that, again, he urges people to call Congress and ask them to do something, to basically set it up as the Do-Nothing Congress campaign that Harry Truman ran, successfully 60 years ago, something like that. I think is detrimental not only to frankly a lot of the members of Congress who must be like pulling their hair out because they really don't need the president rallying the people against them, but detrimental to democracy as a whole. Because when you're telling people to get mad at Congress, to blame the elected government for why things aren't getting done, you're basically telling them to get mad at the whole system, which is essentially what the Tea Party has sort of been feeding off of. It's what the elites want you to do. They want you to check out. They want you to just be disgusted with government and cynical in general and feel like, there's no way that this messy elected democracy thing can take care of your needs, and wouldn't it be better to put it in the hands of some, smart, get-her-done kind of elites. And that's where the cable guy thing comes in, because this has been the president's mantra. It was throughout this speech, and he's been using it a lot lately, where he keeps saying, get it done. It's like, I have a proposal, I've talked to these people in Congress, we can do this, just call up Congress and tell them, get it done. And if you're a fan of Larry the Cable Guy, or not one, like me, but have occasionally been accidentally exposed to a few choice moments, say, in promos during The Daily Show for one of his comedy specials, you'll find that he often likes to say, get her done, get her done. And, honestly, the president sounds kind of like that as he keeps saying it now. I think the origins of the term get her done have something to do with deflowering a virgin, actually, but it has been generally expanded as a sort of head-nodding approval, like, you don't need me to say okay, just get her done kind of thing. This is what the president has resorted to. We are no longer appealing to the, better angels of our nature. It's no longer talk of hope and change. It's just like, if it weren't for Congress, I have all these things, so hey, Congress, get her done. Basically, fiat government, skip the process. Leadership isn't really the issue here. It's all on the table. If only we didn't have this liberal debating society, as I believe a certain German party once referred to their parliament. And that is extremely disturbing because it doesn't appeal to the better angels of our nature. It appeals to the least common denominator in us. Again, appeals to our frustrations and our fears, and not to any logical, practical, active participation or policy. And that, I think, is terrible. I mean, I was going to say that's the party line right there, but it's not. The party line is that we have this government that has served us, for better or worse, kind of really well, on and off, for a lot of years. And it was this government that built the social safety net, that gave us FDR and his ability to move to the left when he saw how bad things were. And it's that system that will be needed, that we need to call upon to do it again someday, because it's obviously been a decade and now more of taking apart the things that we accomplished from FDR onward. So the real party line is that, well, what happened to Obama, if I may, is possibly nothing. Obama is what Obama is. I actually wrote about this better. Take a read of the article. But what's going to happen, in the end, will have nothing to do with Obama and everything to do with all of us. That, I guess, has to be the party line.